Alright, ladies and gentlemen, just before I start this video, I should warn you that I've had a couple of drinks. Couple of Captain Morgan Spice Rum and Cola cans. Good shit, but if my voice sounds a little bit different, or my cadence is a bit different, or whatever, I thought I should explain why it is. Now, because I have had a couple of drinks, and a couple of drinks can work you up to these sort of things, I thought I should explain to you what's inside my soul and the type of person that I am and where I've come from and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm 37, on a disability pension, born with cerebral palsy, lived out of home for 10 years in a house that I rented off my mother. Um, Had to come back home because she sold the house, unfortunately, but I don't want to be here forever, and hopefully I'm not. Because I liked being independent and living on my own, aside from uh, carers coming morning and night to put me to bed and get me out of bed. Um, what's inside my soul? Well, that's an interesting question because I think your whole life you're discovering that, but all my life I knew that something was wrong with the world. I can't explain how I knew it, but even 20 years ago when I was a kid, I knew there wasn't something quite right, and I knew that we weren't fully in charge of our destinies. I first started, because it was related to me, of course, I started researching vaccines when I heard about dirty vaccines and how back in the 1950s and early 1960s, they purposefully put cancer in the polio vaccines. And then I heard about MMR, about how people were having fevers and bleeding on the brain and getting autism or viral meningitis, which is what I got. And then I did some research in that, and I found out that a lawyer that was charged with debunking the link between MMR and autism for the secret vaccine courts actually found that there was evidence and there was a link, and they fired him, and then I found out about the real truth behind the United Nations and the EU, about the New World Order and depopulation and global control, and how they were using vaccines as a part of that, and using viruses as bioweapons, and on it goes, and on it goes. Then, in 2015, I saw this video that popped up on YouTube. It had Larry Nichols, former campaign advisor for the Clintons, talking about Hillary Clinton, and for the sake of his grandchildren, that he had to stop Hillary Clinton from being elected. And, the video went on for about 15 minutes and went on about the Clinton body count. And that's how I found this video at the time, because I was researching the Clinton body count. And at the end of this video, the saying really spoke to me. It said, InfoWars, if you're watching this, you are the resistance. And then it just hit me like a lightning bolt. That's what I've been the whole time. I was the resistance. I just didn't know I was. And on top of that, I thought I was the only one. As ridiculous as that sounds, when you're isolated, talking about the new world order and dirty vaccines and everyone thinks you're a kook and globalization and everything like. When you just continually get bashed and ostracized, you think you're on your own. Then I found Alex Jones. I found out I wasn't on my own. Then, by the grace of God, and I don't. It was a complete accident. I found this video of this beautiful woman. She seemed to have a glow about her. Hey, amazing Polly, and I thought I better check this out. And the first video I saw was amazing Polly talking about Project Rusty and how that globalists from the United States and Nazi generals, they had the plan for the United Nations several years before it was even put into place, and they just had everything in history correct, that there would be some false war conducted by two superpowers and major superpowers in the world. And uh, she went on and talked about how the world wars were, you know, falsely conducted and financed by uh, central banks and the Rothschilds, and you know, I'd been. She put everything into place that I'd been thinking about, or not saying as eloquently and as intelligently as this woman for years, and then I I talked about this woman praising her, and she followed me, and then I had a couple of private conversations, about what she was doing and why she was doing it, and then whether I should do videos or not, and then talked about it for a while and talked about it, and then I eventually decided to start doing them, and I think my first video was Genocide for All, talking about the disgusting abortion laws in New York, where you can abort a baby right up until birth, in some cases after birth, and it started from there. But you know what's inside my soul? A lot of people are driven by money. I'm not driven by money. Yes, I'm on a disability pension, which is garbage, and I'm sick of scraping for pennies. And a lot of people that know I donate to them would wish I wouldn't do it, and they think I'm insane. But I would like not to be on the disability pension, and I would like to be comfortable. But it's money is not what motivates me. I'm not motivated by ambition. Yes, I would like to um, get further than I am in life, but ambition is not a great motivation of mine either. My motivations are to, I guess, the selfish motivation that I have is to be able to look back at my life and say that I achieved something for the world. I did something and I did all right. To just be able to look back at my life and say I did all right, I left a footprint, and I did something that was worthwhile. At the moment, I don't know if I can say that. You know, the pillars that a man holds his life by a good job, a wife, and a family. And just to be a good person. And at the moment, I'm lucky if I've got one of those. I see friends of mine. They're married, they've got children, they're living their lives, and I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I get sad. I really do get sad because I'm 37, I'm in a wheelchair, currently I'm unpartnered, and my chances of having children are, extremely low, if non-existent. And the four pillars that a traditional man should hold and leave his life by. I've got none of them. But I thought, well, I was a boxing journalist for for around about 6 years. I wrote for a couple of years on Eastside Boxing website. Then I moved to ontheropesboxing.com with my great friend and beautiful friend Jenna, and did interviews for about 4 years. And it's a great part of my life. I've met some great friends. Uh, interviewed some great champions, some wonderful people, both trainers and fighters. But I looked at my time towards the end of it, and I thought to myself, I've got all this knowledge about what's going on with the world and how they're trying to destroy the world. And I still love boxing, but there's much more important things in life, that who's going to win the next fight and how they're going to win it and everything else. These people, they're trying to destroy humanity. And if I thought, if there was one thing that I wanted to do, which was worth my stamp on this planet in leaving a mark, it was that I wanted to do my bit in trying to save it. Now, not for the first minute am I thinking, am I in the same league as Amazing Polly? Am I in the same league as Sean from SGG Report? Am I in the same league as Red Pill 78, Space Shot 76, and any of those guys? But I thought it is my duty. I cannot sit back knowing what I know about the things that are going on in this world and the destruction by these evil people, and sit back and say nothing. You just can't do that. The biggest failure in life is not aiming high and not reaching it. It's aiming too low and reaching it. And it is also having knowledge that you can impart to the earth and then choosing not to impart it. That's selfish. That's wrong. And I said to myself, I can't do this any longer. People may not listen at all, but I have to at least put it out there to know that I've done it, to know that I've given my shot. Have I done it enough in my life to deserve what a real man should deserve? Probably not. Absolutely not. But I'm trying. Anyway, that's long enough. That'll do. That is all. Thank you very much.